Hello everybody, welcome to Online Study for You. This is a video on the TCS NQT examinations coding questions that were given on the slot 3 of 3rd August. So what we're going to do in this video is look at the question and a few of the sample inputs and outputs that have been given in the examination, and then we are going to develop a real-time strategy and come up with an algorithm as to how to solve this given problem. And then I'm going to show you the live implementation, that is the coding of this solution of the given problem in C programming language. So why wait? Let us get started. The question that was given in the slot 3 for the TCS examination on the 3rd August is this. So let us read out the question and understand what is happening here. So the question says that given a maximum of 100 digit numbers, so this is a constraint for this given question. So this is a constraint and we have to remember this constraint. So whenever you are solving a problem, you should remember the constraint, because we have a finite amount of processing power and memory, and that is why we have to be constrained with some border, and these constraints help us devise smart programs to the given problem. Okay, so we have a maximum of 100 digit number, so we have a number that is of 100 digit and it is given as input. Find the difference between the sum of odd and even position digits. So the question basically says that if a digit has if say there is a number, let us see the example and then understand. So in this example, this is a number that is 4, 5, 6 and 7, and what we have to do, the output should be, this will be given as the input, and what you have to do is you have to output 2. So how did we get this 2 is you can name this positions of these as even and odd. Let us say if this starts from 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is your positions. Okay, but in if you are storing it in an array or something else like this, so this is 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that does not change, but this is the first number, this is the second number, this is the third, and this is the fourth number. Okay, so the difference between the sum of odd and even positions. Okay, so you should subtract whichever is greater from the whichever is smaller. So okay, so the sum of even positions here is 5 plus 7, because 5 is in the second position and 7 is in the fourth position, which are even. So 5 plus 7 is 12, and we are subtracting it with 6 plus 4, that is 10. So that is why we are going to get the output as 2, and you have to write a program that can take this as an input, process it, and then give you this as an output by doing this calculation. So if you look at another example here, so this is another example. So this is a big number, so you're gonna have to calculate it. This is a correct one. So this is 1, this is 2, 3, and so on. So this is a big number, so I'm not going to just waste time here calculating the solution for it. So the end result will be 1 as an output. So if you look at another example, this is also some similar kind of an example, that is 5, 4, 7, 6, that is also giving you an output of 2. That is also basically the subtracting the, so in here you're subtracting odd position with even position. Sorry, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. Okay, so here you're subtracting odd position digits, sum of odd position digits 5 plus 7 with the even position sum. So how do we solve this question? So how do we come up with a solution? So let us look at the strategy to do it. Okay, so before solving this question, I have been looking at some other solutions that have been given in, maybe other different YouTube channels or different websites, and all those solutions were, pretty hard, and they have made the solution complex, without any reason. So this is a very simple program if you look at it. So what you have to do is, let us say you are taking a number as an input, and that has maybe these many digits. Okay, so what you have to do is you first have to devise a method. So you have a constraint that the number of digits will be 100. So this is your constraint. Okay, so you can do that. Okay, so one thing you can do is, let us say you can say int n, and you can take n as an input. So since there are 100 numbers, you can say long int. So if you have seen our previous YouTube videos, we have solved question on long ints and unsigned long ints. So uh, we can do that. And whenever we want to extract even and odd, so there are some numbers, these many digits in here. So after taking input, what we have to do is we have to extract each digit from here. How do we do that? So then we have to divide by 10 and then mod by 10 to take a remainder, etc, etc. So that is a long process, that is a lengthy process. So we don't want to do that. So what we want is a simple solution for this. How do we get a simple solution for this? Is to use strings. Yes, strings. So you heard it right. So you may wonder, strings are a bit of messy in the topics, and why do I have to deal with strings? But trust me, this is going to be very simple program. So what I will do, so my strategy, so this is my strategy. Okay, this may be someone else's strategy that I have already seen. Okay, so this strategy is complex and makes it difficult. So what I will do is I will also take number as an input, but my number will be an array of characters. So I'm going to declare char ch, say of 101 size, because the 100 digits will be given as input, maximum of it. So we have to prepare for the worst case also. So you can have 100 digits as each characters in this array, and the last one will be /0. Okay, and what you have to do next is you have to loop through this. Okay, you have to loop through this, and while looping, your job is to extract each character ch of I. Okay, you have to use a square bracket here. Forgive me. So you have to take each character, convert it into int, and then what you have to do is, after converting it to int, you should note its position if it is even or odd. Okay, so you have to note whether it is even or odd, and then you should have inside this here only. So what you should have is, you should have even sum and odd sum as two variables. If it is even, you add it to the even sum. If it is odd, you add it to the odd sum. So what you're doing in each step is extracting a single character of the array from beginning. So you're looping from here, so you're extracting each character from the array, converting it to int, and depending upon this position. So since this is the first character, so this is 1. So since this is odd, what you're doing is you're as adding it to the odd sum. So this odd and even sum will be initialized with zeros initially. And another thing that you have to note is, how do you convert this character into num? Okay, so this is a character as we know, and we have to convert it to num. Say if I have ch, if I declare char a and I say char a is 5. Okay, so if I have to convert it into an integer, what I can do is I can typecast it to int a, and maybe I can print it in a percentage %d in a printf. Okay, I can do that. So but what this will print is the ASCII value of a. Okay, so this will convert into an ASCII value number. So the ASCII value of 5 is 53 if you look at the ASCII chart. Okay, so but what we want is 5. So how do we do that? Is actually, you have to subtract 53 with 48, which is the ASCII value of the digit 0. Okay, so what happens is, if we get 0, so in while we are reading, we get somewhere here, we get 0. What this is converted to is, when we are converted to int, we are going to get 48. So if we subtract it with 48, we are going to so after subtracting, we're going to get 0. So the ASCII value of 1 is 49. After subtracting 48 from 49, we're going to get 1. And by doing so, we're going to extract each digit, and we're going to store this digit in this even sum and odd sum. At the end of the program, what you have to do is, you have to print the absolute sum of even and uh, difference between the absolute sum of even and odd. So that is the whole strategy for this problem. Okay, So this is a very simple strategy, but you have to be a little cheeky about it. So by not using integers, okay. So let us go to our IDE here, which is my code blocks. I'm going to open an existing project and let us write our code in here. So this is an empty project. What I'm going to do is I'm going to include stdio.h, and I'm going to also include string.h since we are using strings. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say int main, and then I'm going to return 0. Also, okay, so now let us start our program. So what I'm going to say is int num of 101. So why 101? If you're following our channel previously, you will know, because the maximum number of digits that will be given are 100. So 101th character will be the null character. Now what we have to do is we have to say scanf percentage s. So we are taking the string as an input. Okay, taking the num as string from keyboard or whatever. Then what we have to do is we have to say int length is a variable that will have the length of the string, of course. Okay, so while looping through the string, we have to know how many digits are there in the number. So length is equal to strlen, that is the string length of num. Okay, then I will declare even sum as a variable that will store the sum of even numbers, and then I'll also declare odd sum that will store the sum of odd numbers. Okay, then what I'm going to do is loop through the string and compute even sum and odd sum. Okay, so I will take a for loop, or int I is equal to 0. I should be lesser than the length of the string, and then I plus plus, so incrementing the stuff. So next, probably if you're watching this video, you may wonder why I'm saying so word a lot of times. So again, so I use the word so I'm trying to reduce my using of words. Give me any suggestions if you know. So I can talk in a very good English, but the word so will be used a lot of times in my talk. Then what we're going to do is we'll say if I plus 1 mod 2 is equal to 0, then so what this does is initially the value of I is equal to 0. So if the value of I is equal to 0, it means it is pointing to the first string. So let me show it here. So I'll erase all. Oh my bad. Okay, erase also. What happens is, let us say my input is 3 7 9 4 2 1, maybe 6. So how many numbers are there? 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7. Okay, these are the numbers that are there. Okay, these are the positions. Oh, and then since this is stored in an array, each of them will be stored like 0 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. So when I take my 6, if I say initially it is the index is 0, and if I mod this with 2, this will give me 0, and it will say that this is an even position, but this is an odd position because it is 1. So what I have to do is I have to take this 0 and add 1 to it, and then mod it with 2 to get 1 as the remainder. So at that time it will give me all these as odd positions, 1 3 5 and 7. So when I take 2, this is actually the third number here. So since the index is 2, so I am adding 1 to this index, and then I'm modding it with 2. So that is the logic in here. Okay, so if it is 0, this means that it is even position. So what I'm going to do is even sum, my bad, so even sum plus equal to, what I'm going to do is int of num of I. So I will add it to the even sum. Otherwise, what I will do is I'll add it to the odd sum. That's it. At the end here, you're gonna get the even sum and odd sum. So what you need to print is the absolute difference of it. The what you're going to print is percentage d, and we have to print the absolute difference. I am going to include math.h here in order to use the absolute function, and I'm going to say absolute difference of even sum minus odd sum. This will give me the absolute difference between even sum and odd sum. So this is the whole program. Okay, so if you pack it up, it will not even be 20 lines. So yeah, let us run this and test this. So our first input was 4, 5, 6, and 7. Our output will be 2. That is 5 plus 7 is 12 and 6 plus 4 is 10. So this is 2. And let us test it for some other input. Let us say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. The difference is 53. If we test it for say 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 0, the difference will be 5 because this is 1 2 3 4 and 5. So this sum is 5 of odd positions minus the sum of even positions is always 0. So 5 minus 0, you're going to getting 5. So this will work for digits up to 100 digits. Okay, so you're going to get the correct output for this. So this is the program to solve the question for the question that was given in TCS NQT examination on 3rd of August. Thank you for watching this video. If you want more videos for any kind of interviews and examination preparations, do subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon. We are putting out quality content on various topics and we help you prepare for it. So we are planning to come up with something big as soon as possible to help students and freshers to prepare for interviews. So stay tuned to our channel. Thank you for watching again.